Gary, the world is under construction tonight at the University of Minnesota. A total of 10,000 school children are involved in reconstructing a globe 1/1,000,000th the size of Earth. It's all part of the university's Institute of Technology Week. The goal is to get kids excited and involved in math and science. And tomorrow night, we'll show you the finished product.
A look on the bright side tonight. It is a look ahead in an effort to build a new world. This evening at the University of Minnesota, engineering students began assembling the base to a giant model globe. Tomorrow, elementary school children from all across the state will add panels that they made, which will show countries. And then last week, these kids from Brooklyn Park were working on a part of South America. And tomorrow, they and some 8,000 other children will begin to build their new world.
They've been working
On the University of Minnesota campus, you'll find the world.
Thousands of students in grades 4 through 9 spent the day putting together the scale model of the planet. And it's all part of a project by the Institute of Technology to interest kids in math and science. Patty Nystuen conducts our tour.
We did some of Morocco and Algeria and Spain.
What do you think you learned from this?
Learn how to trace things out of a map and onto paper.
On the University of Minnesota campus, young Earth architects are piecing together a planet.
So put that through that hole, okay, and take your ball driver and change hands.
Each child has helped prepare one of these panels as part of a class project, mapping out and painting surface features.
It was basically kind of a Trojan horse, that we would build something that had the science and math in it, and then kids would bring it into their school and take ownership with it, and then voila, they become engineers.
And under the surface, these students are actually learning a lot.
Mapping, latitude and longitude, scale, what 1 to 1,000,000 is, scientific notation, all the things that most kids regard as kind of boring are essential to make this project work.
In all, 11,000 students from across Minnesota are taking part in this global effort, contributing more than 1,600 panels.
So you've got quite a bit left to go, a little over half. You've got quite a ways to go.
As the world grows panel by panel, a special lift inside supports the structure. When it's finished, it'll support all 6,000 pounds of planet. Outside, things are taking shape slowly, but after all, they're building a new world.
Geography isn't all that it seems to be. This is a lot of fun too, challenging.
For other students, it's the company, not the country, that matters.
It's just neat to do these things with all these people.
When complete, this new world will be exactly 1/1,000,000th the size of Earth. Still pretty impressive.
To me, this is very, very big, and I know the world is a lot bigger, but it's pretty big.
Who says it's a small world after all? With photographer Steve Painovich, Patty Nystuen, Minnesota 9 Tonight.
4th through 9th graders have come from all over the state to put together a giant globe, 1/1,000,000th the size of Earth. The project is called Building a New World. And reporter Dave Huddleston joins us now from the university to explain that globe project. Lots of anxious or very excited folks there, I'm sure, Dave.
A lot. About 10,000 excited students here. This project is not only about geography, math, and engineering, it's also about cooperation. More than 1,600 panels are put in place to get this 4-story globe together and done and get it in place. Each class was assigned a part of the globe to work on in their classroom, and today all those pieces are being put into place. More than 1,600 triangular pieces make up this globe. The triangles are attached by Velcro. The students started about 8:30 this morning. They began with the North Pole, and they're working their way to the south. What's in the center of the Earth? A hydraulic system. It raises the Earth by pedal power. Now joining us now are two of the students who worked on the project, Siobhan and Adam Trampy. They're both 7th graders from North Branch. Now, what did you guys learn about this project?
We learned some about science and geography, and engineering. It's interesting the way that it's put together, the idea of making a circular or a spherical object out of triangles,
Now, are any of you, are you guys interested in becoming scientists or working in the science field?
I am. I'm sort of, because I'm really good at math and, science and stuff like that. So I was, ever since I was younger, I wanted to be working in, the science field. So I decided I wanted to be a scientist when I got older.
Now, you guys said it was a lot harder than it looked. What was hard about this project?
Well, our group had Finland, and Finland has a lot of fjords and stuff in it, and lots of the lakes and fjords, we had to do a lot of detail very carefully, you know, really small paintbrush work.
Yeah, so it was a lot of hard work. Well, good job to both of you guys. The project will stay here about a week, and then it heads over to the Mall of America so everyone can check out the work of all these students. Back to you guys.
Dave, it sounds like those young students are learning about as much about geography as they are about several other subjects there.
Exactly. One of the big things that they're pushing here is cooperation and learning about the environment. The cooperation, all the students had to work in different sections of the world, and now they're working with other students who worked in the other sections of that country, and now they're meeting each other for the first time and seeing how each of them worked on the project together. They're also learning about how we can keep this world, this brand new world, healthy and clean.
Geography, geometry, and cooperation all at one track. Thank you, Dave.
Ever wonder what it might take to build a better world? About 10,000 Minnesota school children are giving it their best shot, helping create a 4-story geodisc globe on the University of Minnesota campus. Our Dave Huddleston joins us live from the mall at the University of Minnesota. I've seen the video. Looks like quite a display. It take the students a long time to build this globe, Dave?
It did, Cindy. It took them about 9 hours. They started at 8:30 this morning. They put the last panel in about 30 minutes ago. Now, the entire project took months. But this 42-foot globe is exactly 1 million times smaller than the actual Earth. And after talking with some of the students, we found out that this was a lot more than an educational project.
Purple. I need a purple right here.
It's certainly not the traditional way of learning geography, but the lesson is hitting home. In just about 2 hours, these students knew where to properly locate half the countries in the world.
This is a really good way to teach. It's kind of out of the regular curriculum, but it's a good way to bring in geography and math and science and everything.
It's going in a little bit crooked. There we go.
And everything on this globe was done by students. They painted more than 1,600 triangular pieces of plastic, then placed them together with brackets. It's all held together with dual-stick tape.
And then run the roller down the edge.
This project had a dual purpose, to be fun and get students interested in science and geography.
I used to not know where anything was. I feel smarter now.
Well, I've always been kind of interested in engineering, and this just kind of made me more interested in it. And I think I'll become an engineer.
Everybody clear on the going up?
Now, what's inside the center of the Earth? Scaffolding and a bunch of world leaders. No, not Presidents Clinton and Yeltsin, but university students. It's as much their project as it is the children's. The whole idea is to bring attention to the Institute of Technology Week here at the U, while giving younger students a chance to create a brand new world.
Been working on the 1/1,000th scale model globe. They started by painting 1,600 triangles that look like the various countries around the world. University engineering students helped put the pieces together. What a beautiful...
Can you believe this, Wendy? Look at that thing. I would say it's about 2/3 of the way done now. Over there on the left side, that is the coast of Asia, ocean going off to the right. Pretty impressive sight, don't you think? As you said, about 10,000 Minnesota school kids have been involved in putting the world together, bringing the world together, I guess is what we should say. Jocelyn Tomke and Megan Graham, 15 years old, from Oakland Junior High in Stillwater. Hi.
Hi.
Now tell me, you put these panels together, right?
Yeah, we painted them. We drew, and then we used marker to make the outline, and then painted it. The colors that the index told us what colors to paint what countries, and we did that, and then we just put it together with everybody else's panels.
Megan, tell me, what countries did you all do?
We did Libya. We did most of Libya, and Jocelyn did, what did you do?
Tunisia.
Did you know anything about these places before?
No, I've heard of Libya before, but then there was like Aju Babi and stuff. I couldn't even say them.
Tripoli. I didn't know what any of those things were before we learned how to do them on the panel.
Well, very nice job. Very impressive. So as you see, besides being a lot of fun, it's also a learning tool, which I think is why they designed this thing this way, so that kids can learn when they don't really think they're learning. I'm Russell Rhodes reporting live from the University of Minnesota.
Real quickly, what is that thing made out of? Is it wood or metal?
You've asked me a question. I'm not certain of the answer. Do you know what are the panels made of? Do you know?
They're some plastic.
Oh.
There it is. Plastic. See, when you don't know, you turn and you ask. This effort all day as it has grown from a dome to a globe, from the North Pole to the South. Building a New World, it's called, and it is one big science project sponsored by the University of Minnesota's Institute of Technology.
You got A60? Yeah. Okay, it goes right there. We'll line the edge of the panel up with the edge of the Velcro all the way around, okay?
Building a whole new world is not easy. Not only must you put the pieces in the correct place, the framework has to be just right.
Here's some bolts for you guys.
10,000 Minnesota young people have taken part in building a new world. The globe of 1,600 triangular panels makes up the 42-foot globe. That's 1/1,000,000th the actual size of the Earth.
Yeah, it's 75 north.
In their schools, the students drew their triangles to exact specifications. At the University of Minnesota, they saw how they all fit into the big picture. Where is that?
It's Afghanistan.
With people power, the globe was lifted. Ben Johnson pedaled the weight of the world.
That is tough.
Inside the globe, volunteers make certain all is right with the world. Outside, it seems to be a perfect learning tool and a perfect world. Well, almost perfect.
If you look at Alabama, Alabama came down into the panhandle on Florida.
Oh, so it's wrong.
Yeah, a little bit. I think they're going to airbrush it.
Here, it's clouds that do the airbrushing, and once done, it did look like a perfect world. A lot of brains went into this project, so did a lot of hope.
You're building a world with no pollution and all other stuff that might kind of ruin a world. So it's kind of building a perfect world.
And it did have an educational purpose, too. Building a Better World is designed to interest students, junior high and elementary students, in math, earth science, and engineering. Not a bad geography lesson either, as I've walked around it today. It's on display here at the University of Minnesota's Northrop Plaza through Saturday. I'm Russell Rhodes reporting live.
Part of a project called Building a New World, and today it all came together as grade schoolers and middle school students put on the finishing touches. The project was designed to teach students about math and science, but other lessons were learned, too.
You're building a world with no pollution and all other stuff that might kind of ruin a world. So it's kind of building a perfect world.
This one's only 42 feet tall, though, 1/1,000,000th the size of the actual Earth. It will be on display at the university's Northrop Plaza.
What they're doing is they're taking triangular panels and they're connecting them to a grid here. Here's an engineer, Kelly. Kelly, tell us exactly how the globe is being constructed.
Well, we're attaching the panels with dual lock to the struts here, and the kids are putting the struts on, and then they're putting the panels on too. And then after it's all done, they're going to ship it across the United States.
All right, now the panels are actually painted by kids from throughout the Minnesota, actually. 150 gallons of paint were used. As you can see, there's tons of kids here, 10,000 kids at all from all over Minnesota. With me right now is Emily Tongas. Emily, what school are you from?
IHM St. Luke's.
And how old are you?
12.
So what do you think about this?
I think it's a good opportunity for everybody to get together and know a lot about the world and just different stuff about the world.
That's a good thing. What's your name?
Ann Riddell.
And how old are you?
I'm 12.
What do you think?
I think it's great. I think I'm glad, like, I'm here and everything. I'm part of this, part of building it.
What are you learning here? What are you learning?
Well, like, I'm learning more, like, about the world and how big it can be, because, like, if this is just 1/1,000,000th of the size, then just think of how big the world really is, and just it's fun being here, I guess.
What school are you from?
IHM St. Luke's.
And what section of the Earth did you paint?
Well, Oregon and part of California and the ocean.
Did you know what that looked like before you did that?
No.
So what do you think you learned?
Well, I learned a lot, and I know a lot about the world now, and I really enjoyed building the pieces.
Well, that's really super. How old are you guys?
12.
Well, how about through May 8th here at the University of Minnesota, and then when it's done, it will go to the Mall of America. Again, it's going to be about 5 stories high when it's done. 1,620 different panels used to construct this globe. It'll probably take about 4 hours before the whole thing's done. It's being hoisted into the air. There's a hydraulic system underneath it, and kids are actually on bicycles hoisting this globe into the air. It's quite a project. I think that's an understatement. Back to you, Kim.
Massive kid power is giving all of us a new perspective on our planet.
Okay, this is a good panel because this is where I live. You see where it goes?
10,000 students from 200 Minnesota schools helped build the 41-foot Earth sphere. It's 1/1,000,000th the size of the Earth, containing more than 1,600 triangular plastic panels painted by children. The project kicks off events celebrating the University of Minnesota's Institute of Technology.